Welcome to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Elizabeth D'Orazio. Today we're coming again to you from the First Baptist Church on Main Street in New London, where they fulfill their mission by exalting Jesus in worship, teaching Christian discipleship, modeling Christian fellowship, and serving our community by promoting peace, justice, and the true mercy of God. Laurie Buchar of the Historical Society will give us a tour of the Bradford Center buildings. Meg Cowen will be on to promote the Halloween Masquerade Dance. And to close the show, I will visit with a member of the First Baptist Church, Jim Devere, to hear about his own journey to the Christian faith as he walked in love and found Christ right here at the First Baptist Church. But first, a few words from the good folks that make your Yankee Chronicle possible. Please don't socially distance yourself from these businesses because they are an integral part of our community's economic health.
At H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, we sell, install, tune, and repair heating and cooling systems and deliver your fuel oil and propane. But we're much more. With more frequent major weather events, don't say again, I should have installed a generator. H.R. Clough provides the best home generator systems available from Generac. Our highly trained personnel provide you a complete turnkey installation. For a free estimate, call the H.R. Clough Company today. Over 4 generations of local ownership and dependable service.
There's a big difference between a big box store and a LaValle Middleton building supply.
When you're a local store, you need to compete with the bigger chains. So we've combined our purchasing power with over 300 independent lumberyard and home centers, and we've passed those savings on to you.
Our customers have grown up with our stores, and now their kids are shopping here with our kids.
We have everything you need for any home improvement project you can think of.
And the possibilities are endless.
If we had a motto, it would be neighbors helping neighbors build a community.
And now over to Laurie Buchar, coming to us from the Historical Center of Bradford. The unique buildings, graveyards, and people that made that town might have fallen off our radar, but she's going to make sure we know the significance of what truly happened in Bradford.
Well, it all started here about 250 years ago. This is Bradford Center, which is the geographical heart of Bradford. And when you think of Bradford, you might think of Pizza Chef and the church and the library downtown, and that's all where we center our commerce now. But in the old days, the forefathers of each town would put the center right in the center of town, so it was equal distance for everybody who had to walk to the gathering place. There's been a lot of change over the years, but because this area got left as a backwater when the railroad came in, and this Bradford Center was a vibrant place that long ago. There was a blacksmith shop, there was the Punch Bowl Tavern, there was a tannery, there was a store where you'd pick up your mail and your millinery and your shoes and your grain, whatever. So Bradford had 12 schools. That may seem like a lot for the population of the town, but there was a rule that most towns followed, that each student had to live within a mile of the school building. This is the only one that has been kept the way it was and restored to its more school-like look. This school served students from ages 4 to age 20, and it ran the longest. It was the first school, 1793, and it went to 1937. There are still people alive who attended this school. I remember stories of students from long ago who would chuck apples up at the bell tower while the teacher's back was turned. Now let me show you where the other animals were kept. So this is the town pound. It possibly predates all the buildings in the area because every town had to have a place to put errant animals. So if your livestock wandered into someone else's cornfield, people aren't going to be happy, right? So there was a pound where the animals had to be rounded up and kept here. Job of the pound keeper was very unpopular because people had to pay him and he had to round up the animals and feed them. So anybody who was a political hopeful in town had to do the pound keeper job first. This is really the second meeting house in this location. Right over there, there was a town meeting building for gatherings of all kinds, not just religious purposes. And that building was eventually moved down to Bradford, as we know the center now, and is part of our town hall that is right there across from the library. This replaced it in 1838. Inside this building, it's quite remarkable to us because it's a beautiful historic landmark. But in its day, it was considered a fairly humble accomplishment. All towns wanted to have their meeting place for, as I said, religious as well as educational purposes. And they all shared it. There were many denominations in the center, and they would take their turns using the meeting house. It has stencils in it that you'll see that are beautiful, but were stock stencils of the time. It was a typical building for a small New Hampshire town at the time. So this is called the Center Burying Ground. They didn't use the word cemetery at that time. The graves in this area are from the 1800s, 1801 to 1881. That includes Revolutionary War veterans. So this is the only town green in Bradford, the only official town green, and it is owned by the town. But the buildings are kept up by a group called the Friends of Bradford Center. And we've had a tough year this year with COVID, last year too, of course. The kinds of events that we do have when we are open to the public are our wonderful annual Christmas pageant, many concerts during the summer, including classical music, folk music, rock and roll, and big band. We've had art shows. You can rent the space for weddings or memorials. We put on plays. We've had all kinds of fun things go on here. And we hope to continue all of that in 2022. If you want to come check us out, please come by and visit and hang out at on our picnic tables, and check us out on Facebook, Bradford Center Meeting House.
At H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, we sell, install, tune, and repair heating and cooling systems and deliver your fuel oil and propane. But we're much more. Now is the time to have a highly trained H.R. Clough technician perform an annual maintenance and inspection of your gas or oil system to help you avoid a failure in the dead of winter. Call now to set up an appointment. Call the H.R. Clough Company today. Over 4 generations of local ownership and dependable service.
Simple solutions in a challenging world. Let Echo Communications make your life simpler. From the beginning, creating design through the commercial print process and ending with custom mailing, all easily coordinated in one place. Echo Communications provides simple solutions in a challenging world. One place, many solutions. Learn more at echocominc.com.
Main Street Bookends has been your community bookstore since 1998 and voted Yankee Magazine's Editor's Pick Must-See Bookstore. Bookends is a full-service store offering a huge selection of current fiction and nonfiction with children's book selection, toys, and games. Bookends has a huge card selection for all occasions, along with Main Street Marketplace and Gallery in the attached barn. 100% solar, Main Street Bookends of Warner is building your community one book at a time.
We at Center for the Arts have kept busy despite the turn of the seasons and have lots to share about what is coming up through November and December. November 1st through the 15th is our annual online auction to raise money for our Arts Education Fund. Folks can begin bidding November 1st up through the 15th. Thanks to generous donors, this year's auction gifts include things such as tubs, snowshoes, Fraser Home fragrances, gift certificates, wine, winter, yoga, and holiday baskets, as well as beautiful 10x10 art by over 20 regional artists. November 5th brings 2 CFA events. The first is our latest and last 2021 First Friday Micro Gallery opening. Lauren Howard is at Bar Harbor Bank and Trust, Garrett Evans is at the New London Inn, Penny Koberger is at the Blue Loon Bakery, and Loa Winters is at the Tatewell Gallery. November 5th is also the opening night for the novel turn play Turning Towards the Sun by Seal Warren. CFA has partnered with Skit in presenting the premiere production. The romance comedy takes place in a small New England village, not unlike ours, where life moves slowly, gossip travels fast, and it is simply impossible to keep deep, dark secrets hidden forever. The performances will be at the Warner Town Hall and run November 5th and 6th, 12th and 13th at 7:30 p.m., and the 7th and the 14th at 2 p.m. Information about buying tickets is on our website. Lastly, we hope you will join us for our last First Friday of 2021 on December 3rd. Our holiday concert, Tidings of Joy, will be at the Black Box Theater on the campus of Colby Sawyer College. There will be an opening reception at 6:30 with the concert beginning at 7. As always, stay up to date with all that is happening at Center for the Arts by checking out our website, centerfortheartsnewhampshire.org.
When we come back, Meg Cowen will tell us about a very spooky event happening at the Newport Opera House.
At H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, we sell, install, tune, and repair heating and cooling systems and deliver your fuel oil and propane. But we're much more. H.R. Clough installs water conditioning systems to purify your water and add life to your hot water heating system. Now is the perfect time for one of our expert staff to evaluate your needs. For a free estimate, call H.R. Clough today. Over 4 generations of local ownership and dependable service.
There's a big difference between a big box store and a LaValle Middleton building supply.
When you're a local store, you need to compete with the bigger chains. So we've combined our purchasing power with over 300 independent lumberyard and home centers, and we've passed those savings on to you.
Our customers have grown up with our stores, and now their kids are shopping here with our kids.
We have everything you need for any home improvement project you can think of.
And the possibilities are endless.
If we had a motto, it would be neighbors helping neighbors build a community.
And now Meg Cowen is going to join us to tell us how the Newport Opera House is going to be transformed into a Halloween masquerade. This is a whole new good reason to mask up.
We are so excited to be back in our house, the Newport Opera House. It's been a very long time when this poor old building has been so empty, but now we are looking forward to having audiences back here with laughter and applause and great entertainment again for another season for 2021 and 22. Coming up in October, at the very end of the month, on the 30th, is our Halloween Masquerade Dance. That is a seasonal, popular event that we've had here for, oh my gosh, it's got to be 25 years now. It is a costume party. We do certainly encourage people to come in your very best, most creative costumes. We give out prizes for different categories: scariest, funniest, best group, weirdest, whatever. We kind of make it up as we go, really, but we have some great prizes to give out. So, and the music is fabulous. This is the music of the band Last Kid Picked, and John DeGange and his band have been with us all those years, and they put on a fabulous show. Great music all night long. We'll have spirits both in the Opera House and at the bar. And we would love to have you here. It's a great time to celebrate spooky season and dance and laugh and have some fun. So we are looking forward to that. Then in November, we have the comedian Bob Marley. Yes, Bob Marley is coming right here for 2 days in November, the 12th and the 13th, 2 shows each day. a real quick turnover. Bob has a Guinness Book of World Record for the longest stand-up comedian without repeating jokes. 40 hours. I can't even imagine. This man's made of iron, I think. I can't wait to meet him. Bob is from Maine. For those of you who are not familiar with Bob, take a look on YouTube and listen to him. He is absolutely hysterical. It's these characters he talks about are his family members, and it's people you probably know, I certainly do, and he just puts a spin on everything that will just have you crying. You're going to be laughing so hard. So Bob will be here again Friday and Saturday, November 12th and 13th at 6 and 8 p.m. both nights. Then beyond that, and I'm going way beyond that, in March, coming up in March, Rusty DeWeese will be back in the house. Rusty was the last show we had in here before we had to close for the pandemic. So Rusty's coming back with Patrick Ross, a fiddler. And Patrick and Rusty have worked together for years. They're both Vermont born and raised. So we've got Maine with Bob Marley, and now we got Vermont with these two guys. It's called The Logger and the Fiddler. And it's all comedy, it's all great music. Rusty plays the guitar, Patrick, of course, plays the fiddle. Funny stories. Again, you may remember Rusty, he has this persona called the Logger, and he's all about duct tape and buffalo plaid and the big boots, and he puts on that real Vermont accent. And but it's a night of great music, great comedy. So that will be March 5th. It's a Saturday. So do look for that. And then beyond that in March, we're also having the Taste of Sullivan County. We had that for the very first time, 2 years ago now, and where we invite all different kinds of restaurants and cheese artisans and breweries and wineries and ice cream people, all different kinds of foodies here in Sullivan County. They're invited here. You can sample your way around the room, and for a small price, and really get introduced to some of the treasures we have here in Sullivan County for great eating. So that will be coming up, I believe it's the 19th. Again, it's later in March. Another big deal is in April. We're having a musical, a big musical that we have done a lot of community theater here, and we are known for our musicals. We're doing it again, but we're teaming up with the Sunapee-Kearsarge Intercommunity Theater, also known as SKIT. And SKIT has supplied the show. It is called 43rd Street, written by Tom Lowe, and I'm sure a lot of you will recognize that name. The Lowe sisters were in the original production, and Tom and Don Lowe, which I know a lot of you will remember as well, were in the show. And of course, Tom wrote it. It's about a speakeasy that is hidden underneath a soup kitchen during Prohibition. And so it's all about flappers and gangsters and fun music, fun story, a lot of local references that you'll all recognize and enjoy. So that's coming up April 8, 9, and 10. And again, we are partnering with SKIT to do that. And then the last thing we're planning on doing, but things change, so you never know, is we're doing the Sunshine Town Social, and we're partnering with the Library Arts Center, as we have done for many, many years with that. It's a silent auction, it's a live auction, it's great dinner, we have a nice dinner, entertainment, and it's all for the benefit of the Library Arts Center and the Newport Opera House Association. So that is a wonderful night too. And again, that will be in April. Keep an eye on our website. It's newportoperahouse.com, and you'll find all of that there, as well as going on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, and we often post what's coming up, and so do keep an eye on that, or give me a call. My name, as you know, is Meg Cowen. I'm the Executive Director, but call our office at 863-2412. I'll answer the phone and be happy to answer your questions and talk to you about details about everything that's coming up. So we sure look forward to having everybody back in the Opera House this year.
Thank you, Meg, for all you do to make the Newport art scene as fun as it is this time of year. When we come back, I'll be joined by Jim Devere, a parishioner here at the First Baptist Church, as he tells us about his personal journey from science to these pews. You don't want to miss it.
At H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, we sell, install, tune, and repair heating and cooling systems and deliver your fuel oil and propane. But we're much more. Now is the time to have a highly trained H.R. Clough technician perform an annual maintenance and inspection of your gas or oil system to help you avoid a failure in the dead of winter. Call now to set up an appointment. Call the H.R. Clough Company today. Over 4 generations of local ownership and dependable service.
Simple solutions in a challenging world. Let Echo Communications make your life simpler. From the beginning, creating design through the commercial print process and ending with custom mailing, all easily coordinated in one place. Echo Communications provides simple solutions in a challenging world. One place, many solutions. Learn more at echocominc.com.
Main Street Bookends has been your community bookstore since 1998 and voted Yankee Magazine's Editor's Pick Must-See Bookstore. Bookends is a full-service store offering a huge selection of current fiction and nonfiction with children's book selection, toys, and games. Bookends has a huge card selection for all occasions, along with Main Street Marketplace and Gallery in the attached barn. 100% solar, Main Street Bookends of Warner is building your community one book at a time.
Welcome. I'm Elizabeth D'Orazio, coming to you from the First Baptist Church right here on Main Street in New London. I'm joined by Jim Devere. He's a member here, and he's going to tell us how this community helps him grow in faith and walk in Christ's love every day. Thank you for joining us, Jim.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Now, Jim, you have a unique story of how you came to your Christian faith. Kind of share with us what brought you to Christ and to this community.
Yeah, I'd be glad to. I came to be a Christian later on in life, and I grew up in a very strict fundamentalist Baptist family and church, and I rebelled and rejected it. I thought it was being shoved down my throat, and I grew up into what I would categorize as basically a rotten kid through my life. I didn't do well in school. I got into all sorts of problems. I drank heavily in high school, and I was very angry at God. Got expelled from high school, and my parents deserved a lot better. I ended up going on a drinking spree in the summer after being expelled my senior year. Got into a terrible car accident, and it probably was a miracle that I lived. Mother and father got me into college. I got religion, sort of a foxhole conversion, but it didn't last very long until I started learning, being enlightened by the philosophy and evolution and all the things in college. So I went back to basically square one. Mm-hmm. But a nice thing happened during that time. I met a wonderful woman, and we ended up getting married with 2 children. And I was still very angry at God. I ended up getting my degree in chemistry nights and worked for a very large pharmaceutical outfit. And in my anger, I decided I would try to use my scientific background to disprove God. And there was a fellow in the pharmaceutical outfit that had been world-renowned in peptide and protein synthesis, so I wanted to work for him to be able to create life in the laboratory to kind of dispel all this foolishness that I was exposed to in Maine. But when I talked to him, he just smiled and he said, "You'll never find that out because the chemistry is too complicated, even to form a simple peptide, which is a mini protein. We're having trouble in the laboratory conditions." So
sure,
makes sense that it's not going to happen out in the environment. Further than that, I looked a little bit into more, thought about a cell. And a cell has to have a wall and thousands of chemicals, some of them quite complex, as DNA and RNA. And I figured to make a cell, you'd have to have the wall. All these substances would have to be synthesized, and they'd have to come together. And I decided we're never going to have science prove there isn't a God or create life. Changed my career to become a pharmaceutical rep.
Okay.
And while I was staying in a hotel, I met up with a fellow that had a degree in religion and philosophy, and he had this little booklet called The 4 Spiritual Laws.
Oh.
So I said, let's go have a beer, and I wouldn't refuse that because I was a heavy drinker, probably an alcoholic. And I thought maybe this is a worthwhile challenge for me, because I tried to destroy people's faith. And he dispelled everything. He started reading the 4 Spiritual Laws, which is a basic summation of God's love for you, your separation by sin, and the problem is solved through Christ. And I ordinarily wouldn't have listened to that, but something told me to listen. And I did. As he read through it, as I got through just about to the end, all of a sudden something weird happened. And it was like a bright light came on, and all of a sudden all the stuff that I battled against, I believed, and became a Christian. And I didn't even finish my beer, so something happened.
Right.
Went up to my room and read the Bible and got on my knees and prayed and became a Christian. My life changed.
It's interesting because so many people today seem to use science as a reason for disproving God, and it seems that that's where you found him.
That's right.
And people like you right here in this community, I bet if someone wanted to speak to you, you could, perhaps help them answer their own questions.
I would hope so, and I've spoke about evolution and science quite a bit in churches.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. And remember, we all walk different paths, and many of them lead right here to the First Baptist Church on Main Street in New London. What a wonderful couple of weeks we've had here. If you're looking for a faith community that truly practices the teachings of Jesus Christ, please consider giving them a visit. They would love to have you. Tune into our football game of the week Friday night at 6:22 p.m. as our Kearsarge Cougars entertain Interlakes. All of our games are replayed on WYCX Sunday and Monday at noon and 5 p.m. and anytime on demand at ycnnow.com. Tune in again next time at this same time for the who, what, where, when, and how of Yankee Chronicle. Till then, stay safe, everyone.
At H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, we sell, install, tune, and repair heating and cooling systems and deliver your fuel oil and propane. But we're much more, with more frequent major weather events. Don't say again, I should have installed a generator. H.R. Clough provides the best home generator systems available from Generac. Our highly trained personnel provide you a complete turnkey installation. For a free estimate, call the H.R. Clough Company today. Over 4 generations of local ownership and dependable service.
There's a big difference between a big box store and a LaValle Middleton building supply.
When you're a local store, you need to compete with the bigger chains. So we've combined our purchasing power with over 300 independent lumberyard and home centers, and we've passed those savings on to you.
Our customers have grown up with our stores, and now their kids are shopping here with our kids.
We have everything you need for any home improvement project you can think of.
And the possibilities are endless.
If we had a motto, it would be neighbors helping neighbors build a community.
Simple solutions in a challenging world. Let Echo Communications make your life simpler. From the beginning, creating design through the commercial print process and ending with custom mailing, all easily coordinated in one place. Echo Communications provides simple solutions in a challenging world. One place, many solutions. Learn more at echocominc.com.